Hey guys, Justin here with AmericanTrucks.com, and today we're taking a closer look at and installing the LED bar projector headlights available for all 2014 and 2015 Silverado 1500s. Now these headlights should appeal to all 1500 owners out there who might be after an option that will help refresh the front end but still stick to that factory style recipe with the chrome housings and the clear lenses along with those built-in projectors. But at the same time, these will go the extra mile and add that subtle modern touch thanks to the included daytime running lights. Now, when talking features here with these particular lights, a couple do come to mind. Now, first and foremost, you are getting that factory style light like we just talked about, but with the inclusion of some modern touches. The reality is not everyone is into some crazy looking aftermarket headlight on their rig, and if that is the case and you prefer to not really deviate too far from the stock styling, these would certainly be worth checking out. Now, the second feature to me is again that inclusion of the LED daytime running lights, and that's where those modern touches do come into play. Now, these are done with an upper and a lower LED bar, as you can see down here, and I think these headlights do a great job of framing the actual light in regards to the LED bars themselves, and it is very subtle when the truck is turned off, so they're really not going to stick out too much or look out of place even when the truck is parked. But of course, when everything is fired up, these DRLs add a modern touch to the headlight and will illuminate whenever the parking lights or headlights have been switched on. Finally, guys, here, the final feature to me is still a biggie, and that is the fact that you are getting that low beam projector up top here. Now, unless you had a higher trim level Silverado from the factory, then chances are you missed out on the factory projector here. So not only does that add a higher end look or appearance, but they will also help nighttime visibility thanks to the more focused, brighter beam of light. Now, construction will be very similar to that of the factory halogen headlights in a lot of different ways. We've already just talked about here the projector low beams up top, but you are of course getting the high beam housing down below here. That is a reflector style housing, much like the factory projector headlights found on the Silverados. Now the DRLs again are included both top and bottom here. Again, they do a great job of framing that headlight area, and they do also kick in some amber turn signal bulbs here on the side. Now I do want to point out here, guys, that these particular headlights do include all of your bulbs, so they are ready to go right out of the box. Also worth mentioning, again, going back to that factory styling, the chrome inner housing, they top everything off with that crystal clear polycarbonate lens, and of course they are sealed up nice and tight to prevent any condensation building up over time. Now I do like pointing out also here with headlight videos that these things are DOT and SAE legal. That makes them legal for use in all 50 states, and they are backed by a limited warranty in case you run into any issues. Now moving into price point here, guys, and for around that $450 ballpark for these LED bar options, they are going to be priced, I would say, right in line with a lot of your other similar headlights here on the site or in the category. You can certainly get a bit more aftermarket in appearance for a similar price point if you wanted to go like dark housing, smoke lenses, even more LEDs. But again, if you did want to stay true to that OE recipe with the modern DRLs as a kind of a bonus, these are going to be one of your most affordable options on the site. But now let's get into the install a little bit more, and the site's gonna call this one a solid 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, taking you at least an hour to complete from start to finish. But now let's throw things out to the shop for our detailed walkthrough and tool breakdown.
Tools required for this install include a ratchet, clip remover tool, Phillips head screwdriver, 10mm ratcheting wrench, wire strippers and crimpers, scissors or diagonal cutters, an extension, 10mm socket, some zip ties, and a T-tap and a male spade.
What's up, guys? Today we're installing a set of headlights on our Silverado. First, we're gonna watch a quick uninstall video showing you how to remove your factory headlights, and I'll meet you right back here for the install.
All right, first step here, we have to uninstall our factory headlights. To do that, pop your hood. We're gonna remove the radiator shroud. Now there's a bunch of these plastic black push pin clips here. What you're gonna do is take a panel removal tool. I'm gonna start with this guy here. You're just gonna pry up on the middle section. Once that's up, you don't necessarily need to take it off in 2 pieces, but once that's up, you can pull it off all together just like that. Do that for each one along the entire shroud. Now that all those clips are off, let's just lift up on the shroud and set it aside. Next up, we have to head over to the wheel well to remove this one Phillips head screw. Now the reason we're doing that is because this entire trim piece that goes along all underneath the headlights and grille has to come off. So grab a Phillips head, we're just gonna take this one screw off in each wheel well. So once you have one taken care of, repeat on the other side. And once that's off, you can start cracking that guy loose. All right, next step here, just pull that trim piece all the way off and set it aside. All right, next up, let's get our grill out of the way. Now there's 4 10mm bolts at the top, so I'm switching over to an impact gun and a deep socket, so let's get those off. All right, now on the bottom left and bottom right corners, you're gonna find another 10mm. For the grill, I'm switching over to an extension on my 10mm. All right, same thing on the other side. All right, so now we can just pull the grill off in one piece. All right, next step, let's unbolt our headlight. Now I'm working on our passenger side here. There's 2 10mm bolts up top we're gonna start with. All right, next up, behind where our grill was here, there's one more bolt at the bottom down there. All right, we have one more down here in the corner, right behind where the trim was underneath the headlight. I'm gonna use a 10mm ratcheting wrench for this guy just because it's at a tough angle. All right, so now we can just pull that straight back. And you just pinch and disconnect the harness. Just like that, set your factory light aside.
Now before we install our new headlights, we're gonna have to get our wire harness situated. We have one wire that's gonna go to a positive wire that we're gonna splice into off of our daytime running light harness. And then we have 2 connectors that'll plug into the back of our headlights. So now the way I'm gonna be wiring this up is by using a T-tap and a male spade connector. Now the T-tap has a metal portion that's going to cut into the wire. Once you close this up, this is going to go on the body harness side. And then I'm going to crimp this male spade connector to our wire. This is going to slide into our T-tap just like that to make our connection. So we've already got some wire stripped back. So we're just going to twist up that lead and slide our male spade on top of it, and then crimp that down. And then now we can get this installed onto the truck. So now we can install our T-tap. Now what you're gonna wanna do is turn on the daytime running lights inside the truck, and then you can probe all of these connectors to find which one's your DRO. So I've got a test light, I've got the negative side hooked up to the negative battery terminal, and then we can just poke in here. And then right there we have our test light up. That's going to be this gray wire back here that we already have a T-tap on. Now if you're doing this for the first time, you're going to take the metal part, you're going to put the wire around that, and then you can close this up and pinch it with a pair of pliers to lock it in place, and that's going to cut through the wire there. Now since we already have one installed, I'm going to take our male spade that we crimped onto our wire and plug that into the blue T-tap that we already had on there. And then halfway through our harness, we have our first connector. That's going to stay on the passenger side here. So I'm just going to bunch up all of this excess, and then we can zip tie it so it's not all over the place. Then you can take a pair of scissors or diagonal cutters and cut off the excess of that zip tie. Tuck that away, and then we can run the remainder of our harness over to the driver's side. So now I'm going to run our other connector over to the driver's side headlight bucket. So we have a nice slot here that I can feed it back through. And then I'm just going to follow this wire harness that goes across the top of our radiator. I'm just gonna run it across for now, and then I'll go back and zip tie everything down. Now once we get to the other side, we have a little triangle right here that we can drop this down through, and then an oval hole that we can pull it through. And then that'll drop into our headlight bucket nicely, and we can go back and zip tie everything up. So now I'm gonna get a couple zip ties on each side just to wrap this up to our harness, keep it all out of the way. Then you can take your scissors or diagonal cutters and cut off the excess. So now we can hook up our new headlights. We've got our one main connector as well as our bullet connector that's going to go to our new harness. So I'll get the bullet connector in there first, and then we can plug in our main connector, and then we can tuck everything back and out of the way and slide this into place. Now we can reinstall our bolts. We're going to start with the two on top and the one at the front. And we'll just get everything in place and take a 10 mil socket to tighten it down. And now we can come down to the outside and reinstall our final bolt. And then we'll take a 10 millimeter ratcheting wrench to tighten it down. And then you can repeat that same process on the other side. Next, we can line up and reinstall our grill. Now we can reinstall the 4 bolts at the top of our grill along with our radiator cover. We'll take a 10 mil socket to tighten down our bolts. Now for our radiator cover, we have these 2 tabs at the front that are going to slot into a couple holes. So we'll get those in first, and then we can lay it down and reinstall all of our push clips. Now we can install our lower grill bolts. Now everywhere that you have one of these rectangular cutouts, there's a bolt. There's 2 on the left side, 2 on the right side. So I'm getting a bolt with a 10 mil socket and extension to get these started, and then I'll throw my ratchet on the other side. And then you can do that same thing on the other side. And now we can line up and reinstall our lower trim. Now lastly, we can come back to the fender well. We have a couple screws that are holding in our lower trim piece. Now, both of ours are missing, so we don't have anything to put back in that hole, but you can just follow the step from the uninstall of removing that screw for putting it back in. So that'll wrap up this review and install of the DRL bar projector headlights with chrome housing and clear lens for your 2014 to 15 Silverado 1500. Thank you for watching, and for all things Silverado, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.